Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's actually been quite a long time and this is probably going to be the last video actually of the year. I wanted to do a summary of what is going to be happening with the car and the channel and myself next year, just because I was thinking of all these things and actually there's quite a lot of exciting big things happening. Now first off, what I have been doing is trying to invest a little bit more money into the channel. So what I've been doing is getting better tech. So what I did was I bought that new gimbal for when I was filming the Mac E, and then recently I've just bought this new wireless mic. So it means when I'm walking sort of away from the camera and towards the car, hopefully you can still hear me just as good as if I was stood near the camera itself. That's just going to give me so much more flexibility when I'm both doing stuff with the car, in the car, out the car, maybe filming with other people and their cars. It means I don't have to think about, I've got hands free basically, and I don't have to think about holding the camera, and also the audio should be better. I am trying to progress the channel as best I can. I am a bit of a one-man band. I do all the filming, all the editing, everything on my own, but where I can try and improve, I'm going to try and invest in better tech and equipment so that I can actually achieve this. And also thank you to people who have donated. There has been the odd donation this year, either with the super thanks during a live stream or below the videos there is a super thanks icon, which just means that you can help with the progression of the channel. You can make a donation as a big thanks. Anyway, on with the rest of the video. So the first thing I actually want to get out of the car, because hopefully this is probably going to be the biggest thing that's going to happen with the car, which is the mod side of it. So one sec. It is this bad boy. So if it comes across, this is the same colour as the car. So this has been painted by Flawless, the body shop in New Mills, who did paint the car, and he has heat, I forgot what you call it now, TH something, VH, very high temperature paint. Basically I think it's good for up to 450 degrees Celsius, and it has been painted in the Ford Grabber Blue metallic, so it's the same as the car. It's the only bit of the engine bay which is going to have this. It's going to be like a statement piece, so when you open it, the bit at the front is going to be this big bright blue intake. The rest of it is staying as it is, gold and black. A lot of people have been waiting for performance car parts and mods for the car, myself included, and I cannot wait to, I've been saving up, and the aim is as soon as possible, which is looking like very early next year, hopefully just before springtime, I can get this and the car down to its. We're going to be fitting the Fusion Fabrications inlet. Along with that, I am going to be doing that. Well, I say I'm going to be doing that. No, they're going to be doing the work, but for safety's sake, they are going to be fitting it. Now, the main reason for that was I was aiming to fit this myself. But the thing is I don't have loads of tools at home. I am on a driveway and the car is a daily. I need the car to get to work and to do various things. So if I messed it up during the few hours I may have free at a weekend, it is really tricky. You know, I've got a house and a family, and it's hard to sometimes get time to be able to do mods and things on the car. So to try and dedicate, you know, basically I probably need a full day, give or take, on my own driveway to do and fit this, would just be too hard for me personally, while they remove the old intake and fit the new one with all the parts that I have purchased for the intake, so that I can make a bit of a tutorial for everyone. So at least then you'll be able to see a step by step and what parts are needed to fit the inlet on one of these cars. So don't worry, I'm not just completely neglecting this side of it, the fitting of it, and also all the parts that I have researched and sourced. I'm going to put all the specs, how many you need of whatnot, and lengths and diameters and all these different AN fittings. There's quite a long shopping list, and I am going to do a dedicated video once it's all fitted and running. I'll edit that and I can make a tutorial then on what is needed to fit one of these. Along with the intake, there is going to be some cams and a remap as well. And the idea is, because I am not looking to go, oh yeah, I've got a 200 spec car, I'm not bothered about that. I personally want the most torque out of this car, which sounds stupid because it's a 2-litre normally aspirated car. But these inlets have shown, I'd say, no joke, at least 20 foot-pounds more torque. I think that's going to be noticeable on day-to-day driving or little country blasts. When you're around that kind of 3,000–4,000 RPM mark, the pickup should be a lot better and there should be a bit more grunt, then say for example if I was to slap on a Cosworth inlet or a replica, and those ones, yes, I would gain more horsepower to hit that 200 horsepower number which loads of people want to achieve, but then you're losing torque, so unless you're ragging that car all the time and it's on track, it's just wasted for me personally. So I'm going for not the normal Newman Phase 2 cams, because those ones are slightly higher in the rev range for their peak power, whereas I'm going for the Phase 1s because their peak is about 500 RPM less than normal, which means I'm not sort of so much losing on power, but it's where it's coming in. So for me to have it a little bit lower down the rev range, I think it's just going to be much more usable power for me. And along with that will be the custom remap for the purposes of research and for myself, for himself, the car, other people viewing. We will do like before and after runs, so you can see the difference with things like this kit, the cams and the remap. So that's the biggest part, and actually quite beginning of the year, so I'm really excited about that. So I've just got my phone out now because it's a lot easier to look on a list of things that I'm looking to also do. So I'm going to keep with the mod side of things for next year. And the next bits are for the aesthetic side of things. The car is pretty much sort of where I want it to be, but I do want to get the rest of the low line Maxton kit. I want to go with the Maxton just because I've got the Maxton rear diffuser, which means the rear spats actually fit with that one. And also want the side ones because I actually prefer them. I like the way they jut out a little bit at the back. I think that makes them just a little bit more aggressive. I also would like some rear axle spacers. Honestly, it's not going to make a big difference. It's just going to be subtle, but it's all these things that build up to make it perfect. So I'm actually looking at getting 10 mil, I think, for the rear, just because they actually sort of sit quite nice. I mean, they are 10.5 mil wider offset anyway, these wheels, but I think to have it around that 20 mil will just be perfect for me. So they're still slightly inside of the arches, so the car doesn't look too high. Because it's not super, super low, I don't want a massive arch gap left. And when the wheels are actually sunk in, it kind of gives that impression that the car sits a little bit lower. So that's why I'm only looking at maybe doing 10, but it just means that the width profile of the car from sort of, you know, the rear to the rear side view will just look a little bit more wider. It should look a little bit more aggressive, and it'd be interesting to see what the handling is like as well. Then moving on to the interior. So I went hell for leather with this car, like really early on, and I did a lot on the interior on it. And I haven't done a lot to it, to be honest, for quite a long time, but I have always wanted to get those seats retrimmed. If I can afford to do that this year, winner. I would absolutely love to get them retrimmed in new leather, just like the armrest and the steering wheel, with black Alcantara and gold stitching. That is the plan. Keeping the gold ST would be embroidered on there, and also if while doing that, I can do more bits inside just to properly smarten it up and have the roof liner, the A, the B and the C pillars all done in black Alcantara as well. And I think the whole interior would look really smart at that point. So whether or not funds are going to allow that, that could be more towards the end of next year. So the next side of next year that I'm looking at isn't so much about the car, so we've covered that, but it's actually to do with beyond the car and my channel. So I actually went for a drive late in the year with Real Car Dealers of Cheshire, and I got to know them a little bit and had a good chat with them when I made the video that weekend. And the owners of what they've agreed to do is to allow me to actually go down to their premises and have a look at some of their cool old classics. And they even said that potentially I could look to drive one. I've never driven a proper classic car before, so I would actually really look forward to doing that. You know, I'd probably film it as maybe a point of view or just a review or something afterwards to let everyone know my experience personally of what it's been like to drive not just a classic car, but it could be something very cool, very different, especially very different maybe to what I'm used to. And also what I would like to do is be a bit cheeky and actually say to them, because they do go to car auctions, and I would love to go down to one with them because they're not that far away from me. I wouldn't know where to go or anything like that. So I think if I could tag along with them, I'd love to film and get an experience of what it's actually like to be involved in a car auction. It's the sort of thing you see on Top Gear, and I've always thought looks quite fun. One of the other things is I've only ever filmed a handful of other cars as well as my own. I do put it out there again, like even in this video. You know, you can message me, comment on here, message me on Instagram is probably the best place actually. Everyone knows me on there. I am drive_with_Uncle fashion_Andy. So you'll find me on Instagram there if you do want your car featured. So ideally, if you are maybe sort of Midlands to Northwest, you're not too far away of a drive, then yeah, it'd be brilliant to meet up. And we can look to film either a proper sort of more in-depth video of your car, or I'd also love to even just do some really nice like B-shot cinematic roll of the car. Just, I love filming other cars. I've filmed mine quite a lot now, and as much as I love it, I would love to have a bit more experience on doing other people's cars. And also it means that you get your video online and it's something that you can watch back as well. So I think that's pretty cool. Car shows, I'm going to try and go to more car shows. I went to quite a lot this year. I did fantastic. Really happy with, I won, I think, 3 awards since the car was painted by Flawless. That just shows you how good of a job John at Flawless actually has done with that car. People have seen it up close and it's won 2 show and shines. First place in one of them, and if I can do that again, if I can go to maybe 1 or 2 more show and shines next year, I would love that. But I'm super happy on how the car shows did go this year. So whether or not I do a show and shine, I'm not sure, but either way, I do want to try and get on other club stands next year. I've been with Ford Elite the last 2 years. It's the only 2 years I've actually been to Ford Fair, and both have gone with the same car club. So really sorry to say to them that I won't be joining them, but my plan is I would like to go with other car clubs. I've had others invite me and ask me along, and both this year even, I've had to say no because I was just going with who I was in the first year. So hopefully you'll see me, you will see me. I've already got booked Ford Fair and Tracks as well later in the year. So those 2 car shows are booked, and I'm going to try and go to some more. Definitely always going to go for some drives out. It is called Drive with Andy. I love going for drives. I think that's something that you don't see a lot on car channels on YouTube. Is a lot of them are just focused on, modifying cars or just looking around them in, fancy showrooms and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to actually going out for a drive and enjoying your car on, for me, some country roads, then I love filming that. One of my favourite videos I did of the entire year, I think it was called something like Just Drive, and I'll probably pop it up as a little tag in one of these corners if you do want to watch it. If not, I think it is on my home channel. But I absolutely love that video. It actually took me a long time to film, but it just gives that sense of the purpose of what I love about this car. And if I could do some more videos of them on different routes, I've got some plans of some other nice routes like in the Peak District, Derbyshire way. So yeah, I'm going to try and get. So I'm going to try out and get. So I'm going to try and get out and film more of them. And then I'm going to finish off with, lastly, this kind of ties in with what happened with the Mach-E, was how I got invited by Evans Helshaw Ford, and I got invited to try out a car just to see what I think of it. It went down really, really well, and I'm pleased to say that they would like me back to do some more. And I was quite cheeky straight away, and I was a bit like, I would love to have a go of the Mustang, of a V8 Mustang, especially the Dark Horse, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they will allow me to do that. So for me, that is a massive thing. That is massive to have the opportunity to go and pick up a brand new car and to be able to, have it, say, for example, it's going to be for like a weekend, to drive that, see what I think, and also try and film a video and edit something. It's just a massive achievement for myself and the channel. It's something that I didn't think would happen when I started it off. I've got to admit, all I was doing was thinking I was going to document, some videos of when I bought the car, the black one, which is that one, but when it was black, and I was just going to document basically mods I was doing. It wasn't even going to be on camera. The first video, you never saw me, but yeah, it's coming to this, and I've grown in confidence. I think I come across as more confident on camera than I am sometimes in person. I do talk a lot when I'm nervous, but yeah, I am chuffed. And comment below if you would love to see my opinion on what I think about the new Ford Mustang Dark Horse. I do think it looks pretty mean. And yes, the Mach-E, they say it's a Mustang. I don't as I said in that video, if you've watched it, I don't believe it should have been called a Mustang. It should have just been called a Mach-E. It's a full electric sort of family SUV style car. But I would love to actually have a go of a proper V8 petrol powered Mustang. It's a bit of a dream car for me. You know, I'm a massive Ford fan, and I would love to own a Mustang in the future of some sort. Absolutely would. So if I get that opportunity to drive that car, you know, that's kind of a bit of a big dreams come true for me moment. And hopefully I'll be able to obviously bring you all along, and I'll be able to film content of that car when I do get it. But I'm also hoping that I might be able to get into some other cars as well. That'll be the biggest one, but you know, I might get invited to some other sort of car shows or openings or viewings or test drives of other cars. So anything like that is going to be going onto the channel as well. I will be giving my honest opinion. It's all filmed sort of from my point of view. Again, if you do know me, I do everything on my own. I don't have a film crew. So, but I was really happy with how the Mach-E one turned out. And if I get something big again, I will be spending that much time and effort. And believe me, that was a stressful weekend because I wanted to enjoy owning that car for that weekend to get to know it, but then you've also got to film a lot of content to produce a video to then be able to get all those things across. But I do love it. I love making these videos. So hopefully now that is everything summarized for 2024. I feel like I've talked a hell of a lot, but there was quite a lot to actually get through there, and hopefully it just builds up a little bit of excitement on what is to come, because I know I haven't had as much content recently, especially on the car. There's been other sort of bits and bobs, so I thought it was quite important to be able to keep all my subscribers up to date. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a good rest of 2023, and I'll see you in 2024. Bye.